Hello and welcome to another edition of Only in Illinois, your weekly recap from Reboot Illinois. I'm Matt Dietrich, and this week I'm coming to you from high atop the Illinois State Fair, where I spent 2 days listening to speeches as Illinois Republicans and Democrats rallied the party faithful in advance of the November 8th election. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from this week's Governor's Day and Democrats' Day. Hosting his second Governor's Day at the fair since taking office, Governor Bruce Rauner built his message on fighting what he called a corrupt machine that sandbagged the state economy and made a wreck out of state finances.
Our home has been taken over. Our home has been taken over by a machine, a political machine, a corrupt political machine has taken over our home. And they are strangling our state. They are driving jobs away. Rampant cronyism, patronage, self-dealing, and corruption. It's a machine that doesn't care about the people of Illinois. It's a machine that cares only about power.
Rauner's campaign fund to date has poured $20 million into the Illinois Republican Party's campaign coffers. And Rauner vowed that Republican legislative candidates this fall will not be outspent or outworked by their Democratic opponents.
We gotta pick up seats. And that's where your help comes in. It's all about. Let me promise you something. Two things. We aren't going to let the machine, the corrupt political machine, outspend us 2, 3, 4, 5 to 1 like they've done in other legislative races. They've crunched us because they got all that insider money. Not this time. We're going to go toe to toe with them. And we are going to outwork them on the streets. We're going to knock on doors. We're going to make phone calls. We're going to put up yard signs. Biggest ground game ever been done for legislative races in Illinois history.
Rauner's speech also was noteworthy for two names he never uttered. One was that of House Speaker Michael Madigan, Rauner's political nemesis, whose name went unmentioned as Rauner aimed his message of corruption at the entire Democratic Party. The other was Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump, whose name came up only in passing during the entire Governor's Day rally when Senate Republican leader Christine Radogno was at the mic.
So if you find someone who loves Trump, great. Go out there and tell them to vote for Trump and vote for everyone down the ticket. Don't stop with that vote. Now, if you find someone that says, Trump, no way, you tell them, go out there and look at everybody else down the ballot because those are very important races.
When Democrats hit Springfield the next day for their annual county chairman's breakfast and Democrat Day at the fairgrounds, they wasted no time in calling out the Republicans for their attempt to keep Trump out of the picture.
Actually do something the Republicans couldn't do yesterday, couldn't bring themselves to do. We're going to actually say the name of our presidential nominee out loud because we are proud of Hillary Clinton. That all the Republicans who came here yesterday tried to deny the obvious. Their candidate for president is unfit to be president of the United States.
What is it?
Madigan, who for a year has portrayed Rauner as the scapegoat for the ongoing state budget impasse, found new ammunition thanks to the Republican presidential nominee.
Together in opposition to the extremism of Donald Trump. I think we could all come together in opposition to the extremism of Bruce Rauner.
But in addition to general rallying cries for the many legislative races on November 8th, the political days provided a glimpse of what's to come in the two hotly contested statewide races on the November ballot. Republican U.S. Senator Mark Kirk, who was in his first campaign since suffering a stroke in 2012, focused on the state's creative potential in his state fair address.
Where was the cell phone invented? It was invented by Martin Cooper from Winnetka, Illinois, who was working for Motorola. And when you look at the key browser here, that was invented by Mark Andreessen with Netscape in Champaign, Illinois.
Kirk's Democratic opponent, Congresswoman Tammy Duckworth, who lost both legs when her helicopter was shot down in Iraq in 2004, was sharply critical of Kirk, specifically regarding his military record.
In fact, he said he was shot at in Kandahar, he was shot at in Bosnia, and he was shot at in Iraq. I've been shot at. It's not the kind of thing you misremember.
The race for Illinois State Comptroller pits Republican incumbent Leslie Geisler Munger against Chicago City Clerk Susana Mendoza. Munger was appointed to her office by Governor Rauner in January 2015 after the death of Comptroller Judy Barr Topinka, and Mendoza previously served 10 years in the Illinois House under Madigan's leadership. The connections of both candidates to Rauner and Madigan emerged this week as a theme likely to come up throughout this race.
My opponent spent her entire adult life on the City of Chicago and State of Illinois payrolls. She has voted for every one of Speaker Madigan's unbalanced budgets. She's voted for every tax increase, every pension holiday, and all of the borrowing that have created the mess that we are in today. She calls Speaker Madigan her mentor.
And we have very little time to spare in taking back our state from Governor Rauner and Comptroller Munger. You know who she is. She's the self-proclaimed wingman of this governor and clearly his appointee beholden to him. And unlike Comptroller Munger, I have a history of standing up to leaders in my own party.
All told, the party gatherings in Springfield signaled a hostile, expensive campaign season to come as we count down the days remaining until November 8th. That's it for this week's Only in Illinois. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Matt Dietrich. We'll see you next week.